Hey guys, just a new idea here. I thought I'd get a collection of your submissions, people who watch this channel, and get your thoughts on the game, just some more fans like myself. Thank you to everyone who got involved. Hopefully you enjoy this content. Do let us know down in the comments. I just thought I'd do a quick introduction anyway. Anyway, I'll pass it over to these guys. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let us know down in the comments. Cheers once again to everyone who got involved. Come on, City 3-0. It was nice, wasn't it? It was nice.
City 3, Arsenal 0. That was as controlled a performance as I think you're ever going to see, but I don't think it matters anymore because I think all of it has paled into insignificance when it comes to Eric Garcia. All of our thoughts have to be with Eric right now and his family and him, and I hope that he's okay. It was an amazing performance by him. I thought it was super composed and really just mature performance from a kid who's playing in one of the best leagues in the world, and he didn't deserve to go down like that, but he did. So our thoughts and our prayers and all positive energy have to go towards Eric right now. It was a very, very good City performance. I thought Arsenal were way off the boil. I'm not sure what we can take from that City performance except the fact that it was composed and we never panicked even when Arsenal were getting into the game in the first 15, 20 minutes. We never looked like we were out of control, really. Mendy really impressed me tonight. Gondwan was amazing. I'm always been a fan of Ilkay, but he was amazing tonight. And it's very rare that him and De Bruyne do work together, in my opinion. I think that it's not a combination that has worked for Pep in the past, but it worked tonight. David Silva was amazing, and just seeing him on the field makes you emotional because you don't want him to leave. Nobody wants him to leave. It was really good. City are back, and we're on a mission. We're on a mission right now. Champions League is the mission. City till I die. Let's go.
City 3, Arsenal 0. I think it was a pretty good game tactically for City, especially because we have not played football for I don't know how many months now. And it was really encouraging to see that type of fluid football, especially because we have very good chances of winning the FA Cup and the Champions League. So that bodes, I think, a lot of confidence in the team and the supporters. And I think we were, in today's game, we were the more prepared team. I think the players really took advantage of their time in lockdown and followed the instructions by the coaching staff and really dug in their preparations for the games. So I think that was a really good thing to see. And Sterling finally has his goal in 2020. He started the season incredibly well. I think 11 goals in the Premier League, and then he just suddenly stopped scoring for I don't know what reason. But in today's game, the goal was a little bit lucky from Louis' slip up. But I think overall, not only his goal, I think he had a very good game, Sterling, and I'm confident that he will make more of these good performances in the future, because that's what we know of Sterling. He's a world class player, and it was really tough to see Garcia take that blow from Ederson. But I'm hoping it's one of those where it looks worse than it actually is.
Thank you, Stephen. Of course, I'd just like to begin by extending my thoughts to Eric Garcia and his family, hoping for a speedy recovery after that awful collision with Ederson. I actually thought he had a fantastic game today. He looked incredibly composed on the ball, didn't look out of place at all, to be honest. And as people on Match of the Day, Sky Sports will say, and as I'm sure you've all heard before, is that that's one of the biggest compliments you can pay to a young player, is the fact that they get into such an intricate system like Pep's and they look completely at home. He looked like he had 3,000 minutes already under him this season, and in fact he's had less than 500, I believe. And at 19 years old, He just looks like one of the best young defenders in Europe, and the fact that he's playing for our club is just brilliant. And I wish him all the best for the future, and hopefully for the recent future for us, because he was sensational today. And aside from that, obviously, Kevin De Bruyne was brilliant today, but I'd actually like to talk about Raheem Sterling in the night I thought he had, because I've seen on Twitter just after the game, there was a few people discussing the fact that he's actually one of the worst finishers and was one of the worst end product, overrated in the league essentially. And part of me is inclined to agree, not to the full extent of that, but I think there were times tonight that did show where he did lack that composure, he did lack that bit of first touch, that extra edge that people like Mahrez, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, even Phil Foden do show. And don't get me wrong, his link-up play with Aguero that led to Foden's goal tonight was fantastic. It was a brilliant bit of 1-2 intricacies on the edge of the box. But it's quite ironic that the fact that it's very well known that while Arteta was at City, he worked with Sterling on his finishing, on his touch, on his control. Especially with finishing, striking through the ball rather than just meeting it, going through it. And that's something that I don't think we saw tonight. I think it's reflective in the statistics for Sterling that before his goal this evening, he'd gone 679 minutes, or before tonight's game rather, 679 minutes without scoring, and that takes up to the Wolves game on the 27th of December. That was a loss, and as a case of in the 614 minutes before that Wolves game, he'd scored 6 goals. So I think that before the break that we've just been through, it was it's no secret that he definitely hadn't been scoring. He hadn't been playing as well. I think even with an assist, he hasn't registered an assist, in my understanding from what I've researched, since October in a Champions League game against Atalanta. And I think that for somebody that, we at City are proud of, and, last year we wanted Player of the Year for because it was fantastic, I think that he has lacked a bit of that cutting edge in the final third this season that we've become so accustomed to. But that being said, I still think that he was good tonight. His off-the-ball work was fantastic. Who scored actually had his heat map and his average position as he was at number 9, which was very interesting. That similar to what we've seen before, Jesus has dropped off and has stepped back. He had a quiet game today, but I think he did that for players like Mahrez, De Bruyne, Sterling to come through and work the game. And who scored actually had him as the highest rated player for Man City as the man of the match, as an 8.3 rating. De Bruyne incidentally had an 8.2, and I think that is that Sterling, as much as I do think that as I've said, he still has work to do regarding his finishing in the final third, is the fact that with him he still gets in brilliant positions, he still moves the ball around well, he still links up well. He just needs to work on that first touch and that finishing, and I'm sure that will come. People forget, he's still a young man. He's still in his mid-20s. He's still got plenty of time to get this club plenty of goals. Hopefully he'll have a few at Liverpool soon. Go to Burnley next. Thank you.
Hey, hope you're doing well. Just going to share some of my thoughts about the game today. I think I'll start from back to front. Ederson looked composed, probably too composed, as he always does. And hopefully Garcia's okay after that bit of madness there from Eddie. The man's built like a brick shithouse, and I can't imagine taking him running into that full speed. But he passing the ball well, pinging it around, exposing Arsenal for a lot of the game. So that's good to see. Defense, I think, was solid all around. They weren't really troubled, were they? Laporte, always looking good. I think Walker, the rest did him well. We saw a lot of his rampaging down the right-hand side there. Finishing product could use some work, like we often see. And Mendy maybe looked a little slow, but I think we'll see him getting back maybe to some of his form from the Monaco days. So we'll see how that goes. Midfield, I mean, what can you say? The trio there did a great job. De Bruyne looks excellent as always, and it's just a matter of time before Henry's record is broken. I'm going to miss Silva, definitely at the end of the season. I think we all will. And Gundogan, no complaints really. And for the forwards, Raheem Sterling, good to see him get his first goal of 2020. I don't know why they had to keep pointing that out, given we've been off for 3 months and whatever. Anyway, good to see him get on the score sheet. Probably could have had a couple more even, but good to see overall. Same with Foden, good to see him get out there. He always seems to get on the score sheet in these types of games. He's really showing more than just shades of Lampard at this point, always arriving at the right time there. All in all, happy with the result. Atmosphere and the conditions and so on going to take some getting used to, but bring on Burnley.
So that's that. City 3, Arsenal 0 in what was probably the most absurd and unusual game I've ever watched in my life on the telly. Fortunately enough, I've had a season ticket for 25 years, and it's not often I watch football on the telly, but that was just I didn't know what was going on. Was it a pre-season friendly? Was it a Champions League group game that we'd already passed? Was it the reserves? Was it the last game of the season that meant nothing? I couldn't work it out. I never ever related so much to people who say, why do you watch football? It's just 22 men kicking a ball about. After 75 minutes, I was sat there thinking, I'm just watching 22 men kicking a football about for no reason or purpose whatsoever. Then there's the positives. Phil Foden gets his goal after coming on. Great. Sterling gets on the score sheet. Always a pleasure. Beat Arsenal many years ago. That would have been nothing but a dream. But as things are changing, it's what is that? How do you go forward from that? I feel a bit for Liverpool, a little bit. They've waited so long to win the Premier League, and they will win the Premier League, but it's going to be so anticlimactic. But with that said, I think we have to worry about we've got a great chance of winning the Champions League, but it's also going to be very anticlimactic if we do so. I don't want to go forward from it in a football perspective. They're not going to open the doors anytime soon. Rightly so, it's a global pandemic. There's more serious things in football right now. I've been really looking forward to watching live football again. But after seeing that, I'm not sure if it's the best idea. Maybe just scroll through Netflix, bit of Jonathan Creek every now and again, because that wasn't at all a pleasurable experience. Great to see the boys in blue, 3 points, but there's more important things, I think. Heads up, come on Blues.
City 3, Arsenal 0. Great result. Happy we got the big win back after the 100-day break. Good performance from De Bruyne. I thought it was brilliant again, as he always is. I thought Sterling, good team to get back on the score sheet again after a dismal period of out goals for him in 2020. Mahrez had a good performance. I thought he was good. He didn't score because he won the penalty, which obviously De Bruyne converted. Happy for Phil Foden to get a goal and play well in the big game. Eric Garcia, I thought he was good leading up to obviously he went off injured, and hopefully he's alright. I heard about obviously he's in hospital and that, so hopefully it's not too serious of an injury. Hopefully he's back on the pitch soon. I thought the whole team played really well. It wasn't I wasn't like disappointed or anything. I knew it was going to be an interesting one because as soon as the first game back after 100 days, especially how long the football's been off for, I knew it was going to be a great, brilliant, scintillating football. But it did do well actually. I was actually impressed with how how we played going on throughout the game. It wasn't perfect, but again, it was never going to be. It was never going to be this incredible, scintillating football that we always expect from City. But we saw it in the end anyway, and I thought everyone did well. It was a shame that Leroy Sané didn't come onto the pitch, but again, it is what it is, I suppose. It's one of those things where you just got to sort of just take it on board. Hopefully against Burnley we'll see him in action again. Laporte, great. Garcia, great. Walker, brilliant. Mendy was good. I wouldn't say he was incredible, but I saw him. He was pretty good. Silva, good to see David Silva on the pitch with De Bruyne again. I would have seen them two on the pitch. Gundogan had a good performance. Jesus was quiet. It's one player I'd say didn't perform great, but it wasn't bad. He just wasn't, incredible. He was better. The only time I ever saw him play was when we had that shot in the second half. So I was like, oh, he's playing. But yeah, it was a good performance overall. Preston, we got a big victory. Arsenal weren't great, but as you all know with Arsenal, I think Arteta's got a lot of work to do on the Arsenal team. But great performance, 3-0 on to Burnley. Go on you Blues.
Well, some things don't change, do they? City sweeping aside and beating Arsenal again. Kev getting man of the match again. I was worried for the first half an hour, admittedly. I thought Nketiah played well up front for Arsenal, getting between Laporte and Garcia. But they never really mounted on that. I don't think they even had a shot on target. And as soon as Kev upped the tempo, Sterling scored just before half time. We didn't look back, and as soon as Louise got himself sent off, it could have been 6 or 7 for the remainder of like the 45 minutes. Was really impressed with Mendy. I think that's the fittest I've really ever seen him play for City. Down that left side, and you could say he wasn't playing the best front three in the league, but it's still like Aubameyang, Nketiah, and a pretty good Arsenal front line. David Silva, gonna really miss not watching him. Him and De Bruyne seem to link up so well. We haven't seen that too much this season. And Laporte looks solid in defence yet again. When he plays, he gives us confidence. And Edison looks much better when Laporte plays as well, even if he does take out one of our other centre backs. Aguero frustrating not to score. He's only 2 goals behind Vardy, I think, on 17 goals. And he should have really scored one. But Foden, how good was he when he came on? I hope he's going to start more games in future. And I was really surprised with the Arsenal lineup, talking about youth. They had like Willock and some other centre-back I'd never really heard of before. So as soon as I saw the teams, I thought City had more of a chance. But I like what Arteta's doing. Hopefully he can come back to us one day after Guardiola's gone maybe. But Foden, assist. It should have been an assist with that Aguero, but also that finish. He's got this attacking instinct. He's always in the right areas, like Aguero is. So I'm excited to see what he's going to give us in the rest of the season. And the crowd as well. I thought City have done a really good job of including the fans in the game, whereas with these little season card booklets, which I thought was quite a nice touch. And also on the screens next to the goal, there was pictures of fans on there. And all the banners on the seats. I don't know, they've included us quite well. They made the best out of a bad situation, I guess. And what a way to make us happy with that performance. I thought Kev fully deserved his man of the match, but Sterling as well. He could have been more clinical, but also he scored a great goal off a volley, even if it was through David Luiz's mistake. And had it not been for Leno, I reckon we could be 6-7-0 up in that game. Hope Garcia's okay, of course. I think him and Laporte look pretty solid. Mendy as well, look the fittest I've ever seen Mendy play, getting up and down that left wing. You could say he wasn't challenged that much, but I don't know. You can only play what's in front of you with Arsenal.